Hey, good morning, you guys. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Today is July 18th, 2022. And this weekend, I was on Facebook on Saturday and I saw a question. I read a question that many people have concerns about. Um, Regardless, really, depending on your stage, it could be early adolescence all the way to maybe your 40s, 50s, and beyond. And the question that I received or that I read dealt with someone asking, a mother asking, what should she do about the weight that she gained after having her child? And it took me back to, oh my gosh, 2013, 14. And I had my second child, my daughter Kayla, and before I knew it, I felt like I was in this fog until I went to the doctor's appointment, and he said, "You need to be careful about what you eat." And so I'm paraphrasing there, but I had gotten up, my weight had gotten up to 166 pounds, approaching 170. And it was like something had clicked because I was taking care of a toddler, and here I had this new baby girl, the girl I've always wanted, the boy I always wanted, and I had somehow traveled into this fog of a lot of what a lot of mothers often do. We take care of our children, and we tend to forget about ourselves, forget about our eating, our sleeping, and therefore we're slowly gaining weight. And before you know it, we've reached a certain level. And until somebody presents that level to us, that's when we shake out of it and like, oh, I'm 50 pounds overweight. And so I knew though that I didn't want to get to 200 pounds because I knew if I got to 200 pounds, it would be a lot harder for me to lose the weight. And if you don't know my background, I am a BSN and a master's prepared nurse as a nurse educator. I have over 20 years of healthcare experience as a nurse. I've been in worked the hospital, community setting as a diabetes educator, health coach. I'm a certified ACE personal fitness instructor and an integrative nutrition health coach. And so around that time, I just started. I remembered that the best way for me to exercise, the best way for me to lose weight, was walking. So I started back. I tried the bike, and I was like, that wasn't working, a stationary bike. And I knew treadmill was the way to go. I needed to increase my walking, being with my children because I was their primary caregiver. So I got the walking down pat. I started walking, bought the treadmill. It took me two to finally get the one that I wanted, or the one that worked for me. And but there was something I still hadn't dealt with. And this was around the time where I started going to school for integrated nutrition health coach. And my original thoughts was I can eat whatever I want, and I just need to exercise. And it dawned on me shortly after that whatever I eat, whatever I put in my body, it's there. There's no taking back. And instead of me just focusing on physical activity, I needed to focus on why I ate the way I ate. And it was around about that time that I started reading more about diets. I was never a diet person. I felt like in order to achieve and sustain health, you have to get to the root of why you do what you do. And I did, however, decide at that point, you know what, I'm going to try a diet. It was a plant-based diet, and everything, you guys, and my thoughts originally about a diet, that it can be restrictive. When you start mentioning diet to people, restrictive, you start wondering if you're doing it right, because that's what happened. I was on this lettuce, and you can have plenty of greens, and eating a lot of lettuce, eating not lettuce but spinach, and a lot of the green dark green veggies, Swiss chard, etc. And It was me going, felt like I was going back and forth. Okay, did I eat enough of this? Am I supposed to eat this? You know, how much is this? And weighing it and doing all this stuff. And I said, wait a minute. Life is not supposed to be this hard. And realizing that the body requires certain nutrients. Our eyes, they like protein for them to work the way they do. Our brain relies on sugar. And I know there are over 100 diets out there, and many of them will say, you know, reduce carbs. You know, you got to, you know, reduce that. And carbs, sugar, and moderation definitely is important. But when you start restricting foods, especially your fruits and vegetables that have nature's remedy, if you will, the sun, the soil, and the vitamins and the antioxidants, the green, the yellow, the green for cleansing you out, spinach, Swiss chard, the yellow for helping, white and yellow, decreasing your cholesterol, fiber, and all the nutrients that many of them Americans are low in. Fiber, vitamin C, B, A, D. And then we wonder how come there are these chronic health conditions. We wonder about diabetes, heart disease, cancer. And we know that omega-3 fatty acids, we know that antioxidants, research has shown that they help decrease cancer. But we feel like we have to be on a diet. We have to watch what we're eating, and we have to count this, and we have to, you know, eat less of this and do more of this. And again, moderation is the key. But what is happening is that we're forgetting the major reason why we do what we do is often because of our thoughts. What thoughts are you having that is helping you or enabling you to eat all of these different foods, to gain weight? Are you conscious about what you're eating, why you're eating? Are you listening to your body? Are you paying attention to, do you get a headache after eating a certain amount of food or a certain food? Do you get, or do you have a constipation? You know, when you're not drinking enough water, are you paying attention to what you're putting in your body? It's not about restriction. Restriction is not the answer to the solution of weight loss. The answer lies in your thoughts. The answer lies in, are you taking enough time to listen to your body and to provide your body with the nutrients it needs? 3 meals a day, a couple snacks a day. Because if one thing that often people see diets, they see the thin body, you know, fitting in the bikini or the swimwear, and they're like, oh, I want to be on that diet. But has that diet taken in consideration your biochemical makeup, your sodium, your potassium, your lifestyle, your genetic makeup? No one knows your body better than you. No one will experience those signs and symptoms that I mentioned but you. And it becomes where we need to sit down and listen to our body. We need to see why we're eating. Are we emotionally, or is our eating based on our emotions? Are we eating because we're sad, we're depressed? Because then we're not conscious with our food and we're not conscious with our body. And that's where the problem lies, is in the lack of consciousness. When we are present with our food, when we're present with our body, we will eat what we need to eat. We will stop when we need to stop. We will go walk and exercise when our body says it's time to walk. It's time to get physically active. The diets don't tell you that, hey, if you decrease your amount of carbs, maybe your brain won't like it. Maybe you'll have some fuzzy thinking. It doesn't tell you that your body starts breaking down fat, a lot of fat, and you get protein in your urine, which can be damaging to your kidneys. That the results may look good, but getting to those results may definitely be hurtful or unhealthy for your body. The best way to take care of your body is by listening to it. When we're talking about heart to heart Mondays, that is one of the weight loss and what to eat is one of the most common concerns and often become a distractor to living your best life, to achieving your purpose. Because this is more than just external success. When we're talking about fulfill your divine purpose, it's about that purpose that comes from the inside out. It's about that purpose that comes from listening to your body. That purpose being present with what you're eating and what you're doing. So no, restrictions is never the answer to achieving and sustaining optimal health. Because it's something that you want to be able to do as your body ages. You know, as you get older, your body changes. Your activity level changes. And so your eating habits will need to change along with that. And it's not diet related, it's internally related as your body goes through its changes. Don't let your eating habits be a distraction. Listen to your body. Pay attention to what it's telling you. Eat consistently. Balance meals. We have a general guidelines. Your grains, your protein, your dairy products, your fruits, water, flushing the body. And as I would tell my clients, ask yourself, if you've just eaten, ask yourself, am I really hungry or am I really emotional right now? Do I need to resolve my feelings, my emotions, what I'm having right now? And often that, a health tip, often just that pause before you go to the refrigerator, make yourself sit down and ask yourself, am I really hungry? Get a glass of water, drink some water. Because sometimes it could be that you're thirsty. When was the last time you had something to drink? And ask yourself, what's bothering me right now? What do I need to let go? What do I need to resolve within myself that keeps me making unhealthy choices? Food, you guys, is not the culprit. You heard the saying, and I believe it's an African proverb, that about the enemy, if there's no enemy within, then the enemy without can do you no harm. But food is not the culprit. What I want to point to that, if there's no enemy within, the enemy sometimes can be ourselves, and very often is us, believing that we should be a certain way, we should be thin, we should look a certain way, we should eat a certain way, that we want to belong to certain groups, belong, when your birth already justified. Your belonging is here on earth. I don't want to go through life, and I cringe when I hear it. Now there are some reasons that people may need to adjust their food and their medication. I've worked with diabetics. I have type 1 individuals that have diabetes, type 1, type 2, and honestly, when we start talking and going through that process, they realize they can have many of the same foods that they like. It was just a matter of dismantling those emotions, those myths surrounding eating. That even someone who was diagnosed with type 1, she said, I ate this, I walked, and I didn't have a low blood sugar drop. How many times have you heard people say that once I changed how I thought about food, I no longer had the signs and symptoms. I no longer had the issue with weight gain. Once I took my mind off this idea of being a certain weight, a certain size, took my mind off food, I ate when I needed to eat, just like a child. They eat when they need to eat. They'll play, and they're like, okay, it's time to eat. It's time to fuel myself. The other thing to keep in mind is your body. We somehow, some way, often we lose our sense of what our body is for. It is the vehicle for our divine message. And yes, we have a responsibility to take care of it. But just like anything, communication is so important. And your body communicates with you throughout the day. But when we're off doing a million things, keeping busy, we're not listening to what our body is saying to us until it becomes too late. And just like the ones I've seen where people go in, are admitted to hospitals because of dehydration. You heard of singers falling out because they were dehydrated. It wasn't like the water wasn't there. Often it's because they're so focused on something else instead of their bodies. You've heard of, I probably, oh my gosh, many diagnoses of dehydration, of exhaustion that people go in the hospital for because, again, they're so focused on the message and not taking care of the vehicle that is helping them to give the message. I've been there before. So the biggest thing that I want you to get out of this Heart to Heart Mondays is that food is not the culprit, and that you want to assess why you eat the way you do. Because no diets, why do you think there are over 100 diets out there? Because this diet didn't work for me, so I'm going to try this diet. We're going to make up this diet. This is another diet. This is another peanut, whatever, all of these. And then they don't work for people, so we keep making more problems, external solutions, right, to the issue, instead of going inside to the internal issue. Out of the heart flows the issues of life. Our weight gain, excessive weight loss, are often due to what's in the heart. What are you holding on to that keeps you eating, doing the very things that you're doing? As a mother, I made time for exercise when I realized that, wait a minute, I have to take care of my body no matter what. My children will always know mommy, my name. And in order for me to take care of my children the way I want to be the mother I want to be the mother that you want to be if you're a mother, is that we have to take care of ourselves. We have to make the time to do that. There is no tomorrow. Today is what you have. And each day builds on the next. There is a way, always a way, to get things done. And if you believe there is never time, then that is the reason why you are stuck what you're doing right now. That is the reason, part of the reason why you're having issues with your weight, because you believe there is no time for you to address that. And once we change our beliefs, how many people have said that? James Allen, how many people have said, once we change our beliefs, we change our circumstances, we change our actions, that we allow our experiences to bring out the best in us. And through motherhood, you guys, we see our weaknesses. We see things that we need to build on. And if you're a mother struggling with weight gain, with eating habits, then what it keeps pointing you to is something that was always there in the first place. That has been there for a while. Is the attentiveness to yourself, to self-care, to take care of yourself. So I hope that I provided some valuable input for you today in Heart to Heart Mondays. You can reach out to me at TamikaJ@live.com. My website is TamikaSChambers.com. You can always reach me here through Facebook if you have any questions, anything that I can help you with. And I, as I always say, make this lifetime great because you still can. You are alive, you can change, you can get to the root of why you do the things you do, so you can go on and do the things that you are here to do. Those children, your children need you. People need you to be your best self, because when we are our best selves, our light shines and people see that light shining, and light attracts. We all have the light in us, and it will attract other people to say, hey, what are you doing? What new diet are you on? You can say, I'm not on a diet. I'm listening to my body. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourself. Have a great rest of the week.